I can't believe this. It was so exciting with the card that came up, and I went into this whole big dissertation, and then I looked and I noticed that my phone was off. I don't know how that happened, but this is real life. This is not the MGM Grand Studio. This is me in my living room, and this is just real life. So I'm just gonna again tell you about what the card was that came up. It was creative writing. I'm gonna read to you about it, and I don't know how long this video is gonna be. They usually are an hour, but because the camera turned off and I was going on and on, it might be a little bit shorter tonight. But this is Archangel Gabriel, okay? And I don't think you saw that because the camera was off. So I'm gonna quickly tell you about Archangel Gabriel, which is a woman, by the way. And I'm just gonna read to you what this says about that. And creative writing, and gosh, what was coming down was so good, and I'm just so sorry it didn't get recorded. But, oh well, that's but the way it goes, you know? All right, your soul longs for creative expression through writing. I can help you schedule this activity. Honor any inner nudges that guide you to write. The writing may be for your own enjoyment or may be a cathartic experience of self-expression in a private journal. As you work with your connection to the written word, you may receive divine guidance to write articles for books for publication. Call upon Archangel Gabriel anytime to guide you through this process. I want to make sure I'm recording. Yes, I am. Okay, now she is the messenger angel, okay? And she loves to help writers and journalists deliver healing messages. Songwriters, playwriters, script writers, anyone who writes. Like a loving coach, she'll urge you to delegate your time and energy toward writing. She can also open doors that allow for publication of your articles and books if you ask for her assistance. Most of all, she'll help you enjoy writing. Now, I'm going to try and say again what I said before that was cut off when, for some reason, the camera wasn't recording. There was a book years ago that I had called The Morning Pages. I don't remember the name of the woman who wrote it, but she also wrote a book called The Vein of Gold. And here's the way the morning pages work. This might be something you might want to do. You get up in the morning and you just get a tablet. Don't put a roadblock up like you have to find the perfect journal, because you don't. Just get up, get a pen, start writing. And you have to do writing by hand, okay? It's not on a computer, it's writing by hand. Because when you are writing by hand, you activate a part of your brain that goes deeper than the conscious mind. And so with the morning pages, when I was doing that, I did it for quite a while. I would get up in the morning and I had a wonderful desk that looked out on a beautiful view, and I'd open the curtains and I'd sit there and just start writing. And initially I would be writing something like, this is stupid, I don't want to be doing this right now. I have so many things I have to do. I got to get going, I have to go to work. But by the time you keep doing that with the motion of your hand, doing writing, you start to tap into your subconscious mind. You go deep, 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 deep. And some really interesting things can come out. And some really interesting things can be released. So don't worry about punctuation, don't worry about spelling, don't worry about grammar. Just get it on the page. Now, her second book, Vein of Gold, talked about how doing the morning pages can tap into that vein deep. You're kind of like a vein of gold is in the earth. It's deep, you know, you have to go mining to get it. So the Vein of Gold book talked about how the morning pages allows you to go deep and really find that gold within. Now, I want to tell you something about gold. The alchemists used to take base metals and talk about turning them into gold. That is a metaphor. That is a metaphor for us taking our dense selves, our lower chakra selves, and fine-tuning ourselves to become more pure. That's what we're doing here. We're evolving, we're enhancing, we are elevating our consciousness and our vibratory frequency. Gold has a higher vibratory frequency than base metals like nickel, tin, iron, things like that. So the alchemists use that as a metaphor for fine-tuning yourself and moving into more of an elevated, higher state of functioning, a more conscious, awake, pure state. So maybe the writing will be helpful for you. Now, you don't have to write a book, you don't have to write a play, you don't have to write a movie, you don't have to write a song, you don't have to write anything big. You can write a couple of words on an index card. Put it on your steering wheel, put it on your mirror, put it on your cabinet, put it on the cabinet where you open every morning to get a cup of coffee or tea or whatever. It could be something simple like, I am calm and comfortable regardless of the situation. Oh, I'm releasing again. I told you my nose starts to run. Things like that start to happen. Or you could say something like, I see the positive in everything and everyone I come across today. Something to kind of gear your mind for positive, hopeful expectancy. Expect good things. Expect good things. And your mind will find them. It's all how you see it. Remember, it's all how you see it. That first little God card. God is in everything I see because God is in me and in my mind. Perception is creative. As you see it, so it is for you. So, set yourself up in the morning. Right, Luna? That's Luna the meditation cat. She participates sometimes. Sometimes she's quiet. Sometimes she talks. Right, honey? Is that right, Luna? So, set yourself up for the positive day by what you say in the morning. Don't get up in the morning and watch the news. Don't do that. Give yourself some time to get your head together. It'll make a huge difference. All right, one more deck, and then we go into the deep relaxation and the narrative when you're in a very relaxed state, so that the narrative will resonate with you. Anything that I say that resonates with your belief system will be seeds that are planted for the new moon, which is coming up soon after we move through this full moon. All right, here we go. And that was a full moon thing. Having, wonky stuff happens, like the video turned off. What can you do? Stuff happens, just got to roll with it. All right, a little more clarification, substantiation, and validation. And again, everyone who watches or listens is divinely protected, and let this card be meaningful for everyone who is watching or listening. And they want me to cut one more time and take the card on top, and so that's what I'm going to do. Wow, self-care. Now that's pretty cool, and that ties into what we were talking about. Remember before, and I don't think that part got cut off, where I was talking about taking a bath during the full moon, and how I was talking about the very first card, creating a higher version of yourself, a more conscious, awake version of yourself, and having the power to do that. This is looking over what you've created and what you want to create. This is about going for it. Now's the time. Use writing or even a few words to program your mind. And this is self-care. If you don't do self-care, you're not going to be balanced, and you're not going to be a benefit to anyone. Self-care is not selfish. Self-care is required. It's a required thing that we need to do. It's part of what we have to learn. It's part of our personal responsibility. It's what we have to learn to do. And so many people don't know how to do self-care. They don't eat the right food. They are abusing their body with substances. I mean, you can do whatever you want. I'm not judging people who drink or use drugs or get high or eat at McDonald's. I'm not judging that. I'm just saying, when you take care of yourself and you have full respect for yourself and your body and your mind, and you treat yourself with reverence, you have the capacity to bring in a higher vibrational spirit. You have the capacity to bring in a higher vibration and to enhance your vibration and elevate it. It doesn't get elevated unless you know how to do self-care. That's just the way it works. And part of us being in physical bodies in this dimension on this earth plane is learning how to take care of our bodies and learning how to respect our bodies. What your body needs, nutrient-wise, what your body needs, diet-wise, food choice-wise, what your body and mind need as far as regeneration time and quiet introspection time. So those are all self-care. Taking a bath is self-care. Meditating is self-care. Eating healthy foods are self-care. Being around positive people is self-care. Staying away from negative people is self-care. And you don't even have to tell them you're staying away from them. Just be kind, be friendly, be professional, be loving, but pull away, you know? You're the only one that's going to know you're doing that. Be around people who are safe. I'm going to read to you about self-care from this deck. Okay. Make sure you're not giving to the point of creating a lack in your own life. This card came up recently about people who give, but they're not nourishing themselves. They're giving to others, but they're not giving to themselves. And also, they're not able to receive, or they're with people who are just takers. As an indigo, and you are an indigo if you are watching this, because indigos are they're very sensitive, and their inner self has a burning desire to want to be of a healing entity on this planet, okay, to enhance the vibration of the planet. As an indigo, you feel compassion for the world because of your divine mission. As a result, you sometimes become generous to a fault. You may not see this as a problem. However, this card is telling you that you must be aware of your own needs in life. More releasing is happening. Make sure that you're doing enough for yourself so that you don't suffer due to your generosity. Allow yourself to feel how great it is to have your needs met, and trust that those around you are guided by their angels to ensure that all of theirs are taken care of too. You are here on earth to help, but you're not everyone's problem solver. The greatest gift you can give others is to ask their angels to awaken and guide them to their unique purpose. Now, one of the things about indigos is they tend to be empaths. So, if you're watching this, if you've been guided to this channel, you're probably an empath, an indigo and an empath. And one of the things that empaths do is they get very involved in other people's life because they absorb energy. So one of the tasks of an empath is to learn how to use self-care to protect your energy so that you can contain your energy and not merge into other people all the time. When you merge into other people all the time, you're giving your power away, and you're being super, super sensitive to what's going on with them. And because you are super sensitive to what's going on with them, you want to give to help them. Now, I'm a licensed psychotherapist, and in addition to being a functional medicine doctor, a naturopathic doctor, a coach, you know, an intuitive, a meditation facilitator, et cetera, But when I was in graduate school and people were learning to be therapists and we were all in school together, one of the tasks of being a young therapist and not very experienced was getting very involved with the clients and, you know, just like really working hard to change them. And that's not the game. That's not what you're supposed to be doing. You don't work hard to change people. You can work hard to change you. That's the responsibility. Not change someone else. That's their job. That's their responsibility. And because a lot of empaths and indigos become therapists, a lot of the young therapists, and even when I was teaching at a facility for a while at an institute, a lot of the young counselors were, you know, getting very involved and very drained by trying so hard to change their clients. And that's just not what you're supposed to be doing. You're not supposed to ever change anybody. Allow them to change on their own. Your job is to change you. And that is what you have total, complete control over. Oh, you know what? I think I'm going to go to this gypsy deck, okay? And pull a card from here. Let's see what's in here. Keep an eye on the time here. I think I did 25, 35, 40. I'm trying to remember how long the first part was being recorded before a call came in that stopped the recording. Like I said, this may not be a full hour session, but I'm sure it'll be the perfect length because that's just how we roll. Okay, shuffling these cards. and cut once and take the card on top. Okay, they just want one cut this time. This is the same one that came up last time. I love it. Okay, I'll tell you about it in just a minute. I'm gonna put these cards away here so they don't. And I'm going to read to you about the heart. Wow. Okay. Number 30. The heart. Look at that, 2 birds, 2 hearts. Okay, see this card? All right. The heart is deep red. It gives off a mystical, magical, wonderful, shimmering, multi-hued light. In ancient Indian and now New Age mysticism, the heart chakra is a wheel or ball of energy located in the center of the chest. It is the central chakra and governs emotions and relationships. It is also the center of consciousness and divine wisdom. Similarly, our religious beliefs tell us to listen to God in our hearts, whether we put our faith in our conscience, muses, the divine, or our own spiritual self. The heart is the symbol of our feelings and emotions, and by extension, our loving relationships. So, when the heart shows in a reading, we know that we are dealing with emotional issues, or that we must look below the surface for emotional motives and not worry so much about intellectual practicalities. Remember that question, or that dilemma, or that decision that I asked you to think about? The answer is already inside of you. It's in your heart. This is actually the suit of cups, which is emotions. And you should listen to your heart very intently, and not so much your head or your intellect. By the way, your heart is often where the creative energy comes from. This is your true heart, what you want, who you are, what you need, and who you love. It's time to extend love and caring into a relationship. Dare to love and nurture. More releasing. Dare to love and nurture and see that giving as your reward. Follow your heart. This is the path your heart would have you take. The heart card may also point to feelings that were hurt in the past as the cause of present anger and sorrow. So, come from your heart, live with heart, use your heart, and connect to the hearts of others. Everyone wants the same thing. Everyone wants love. Everyone wants respect. Everyone wants acceptance. Everyone wants to be seen. Everyone wants to be seen. That's the greatest gift you could give someone, to see them, to really see them, to listen to them. But be careful that you don't go overboard and listen too much, give too much, care too much at your own expense. That's a delicate balance. It's a fine line, and it takes a lot of living to learn how to balance that. But we have a lifetime, so that's what we're here to do, learn how to balance everything and refine ourselves. All right, so we're now going to go into the guided meditation part, and you will hear the narrative of this. Now, if you feel like you're drifting or falling asleep, don't worry about that. That is called Yoga Nidra, and that is a very receptive, deep state of being that I'm starting to go into right now by all this releasing. And Yoga Nidra is where seeds are planted. Seeds are planted in Yoga Nidra. And so if you find yourself drifting or you feel that you fell asleep, do not worry about that. Know that your subconscious mind has had any seeds planted that resonate with your belief system, okay? Whatever makes sense to you will be planted and begin to manifest as we move into the new moon, which will be after we move out of this full moon energy, okay? So I can already feel my energy changing, and you can probably perceive it too, where I'm starting to talk slower and softer because it's time to go into the guided meditation, moving out of the teaching place into the guiding place, okay? So here we go. I am going to look at the clock here so that I know what to tell you as far as when the description, when the guided meditation begins. And it will begin shortly. I'm waiting for it to come to an easy number. Here we go. And so we're going to begin the guided meditation now. So I'm going to ask you to get into a very comfortable position with your back straight. When we did this live before COVID, everyone would be lying down in a room. And it was very nurturing. It was a dark room and it was very cocoonish. So I suggest that you dim the lights where you are, maybe light a candle, or just be in the dark. A lot of people would bring those sleep masks. So they would be in complete darkness. My eyes are watering now too. So your back, you want your back to be straight, okay? So let your back be straight. And we're going to begin. Any sounds that you hear that are everyday normal sounds do not disturb you in any way. Instead, they allow you to go even deeper into your own inner state of being. And here we go. Eyes closed and going deep, relaxing and letting go. And as you begin to relax and let go, notice that your breathing begins to change into a different rhythm. You might become aware of a tingling in your body. It might be in your hands. It might be in your feet. You may also become aware of your throat being dry. You may have a tendency to want to lick your lips or swallow, and that's fine. And with your eyes closed, allow yourself to just drift and float. And as I begin to count, I'm going to count backwards from 5 down to 0. And each count will allow you to go deeper and deeper and let go more and more. Beginning on the count of 5. Feeling your shoulders, your neck, and your back releasing. Continuing down to 4. Feeling your chest letting go. Your arms, your shoulders, your hands, and your fingers. Moving deeper and deeper. Drifting more and more. There is no place you have to be. There's nothing you have to do. Just allow yourself to go with the words. Every word that I say allows you to relax even more. Every breath that you take allows you to relax even more. Moving down to 3. Feeling your entire torso releasing. All of the organs in your torso relaxing. Taking this time to renew, recalibrate, regenerate. Moving down to 2. Down through your hips, your thighs, your upper legs. Your body relaxing more and more with every breath, with every sound. And you're enjoying going deeper and deeper, because a part of you knows that this is something that your nervous system needs. This is something your nervous system needs to be balanced so that you function at the best way that you can, at the highest potential that you can. Moving down to 1, from your knees down to your ankles, down into your feet. Allow your feet to let go all the muscles, bones, ligaments. Allow your feet to just release. So from the tips of your toes to the top of your head, your body is letting go more and more, releasing more and more, letting go more and more. In a moment, you're going to hear some tones as I count from 1 down to 0. And when I count from 1 down to 0, at the count of 0, you will hear some tones. Use the tones to allow you to release more, to let go more, and to go even deeper. Allow your consciousness to float on the frequency of the tones to carry you deeper. And beginning now to go from 1 down to 0. Allow yourself to go deeper still. As the tones get higher, you go deeper. Now is the time to awaken to the power that you have within you to create your world, your reality, and how you want to be in the world. You have the ability, using the power of your word. Words are magic wands that the magician uses create the reality the magician wants to live and exist in. Use your words to create the highest version of yourself. You're moving into a very creative time. The next 3 weeks is a very creative time for you to make some changes and create new ways of being, thinking, and feeling. It is time now to go for it. No longer delaying, no longer procrastinating, no longer waiting. The time is now. Perhaps you want to write. Perhaps you want to create music, a song, a play, a book, an article, a poem, a story. Use your words to create your story. Even just a couple of words as a reminder of how you want to program your mind to have a sense of hopeful, positive expectancy. Choose your words wisely. They will serve you well. Self-care is key right now. A reminder to incorporate self-care in your life to create balance. We must have balance to be able to be of use in the world and to be able to spread the light that comes through us. Self-care allows us to take care of our bodies and our minds in a way that allows the most light to come through, so that we could be of most benefit to those with whom we are near and around. It's important to remember to find that fine line of balance between giving and receiving. The balance between giving and receiving, so that the giving is not so much that we are extinguishing our own needs and sacrificing ourselves to be of service to others. Fill your own glass first, and then fill the glass of others. Self-care is key. Self-care is a very high priority. Now is the time to create a new version of yourself. You have all of the forces lined up to support you in doing so. Everything is lining up, and everything will turn out for the highest good in your favor and the positive favor of those involved in the situation. Perception is creative. As you see it, so it is. God is in everything we see because God is in our minds. Tap into that, and you will see positive goodness and love and warmth everywhere. Come from the heart. Come from the heart. Allow your heart chakra to really amp up the vibrational frequency. Yes, there you go. honor you for taking this time for yourself. I honor you for giving yourself the self-care of taking this time to recalibrate and rebalance your energy. I look forward to being with you again. Thank you for joining me. Many, many blessings to you. And namaste.